And we live. What's up? What's up? It is Thursday, 11/17. It's going on about 8:15. I'm about to jump in, and you know what time it is? I'm about to jump in and get some calls done. Calling the new, expired, and canceled listings today, and it's going down. Looking to set some appointments. Now, when I say that I want to set appointments, it's either a physical appointment to go meet with a potential seller, preview a property, whatever that may be, or even setting an appointment to call them back at a later date. Making sure that there's like a date and a time set up in order um, to get that call in. Make sure that follow up call happens. So it's an appointment that I set with myself, and a lot of times the prospect doesn't even expect for you to give them a call back because a lot of people don't follow up like that. Follow up is key. Making sure that you're following up is key. Um, That's where most of the deals happen, not even on the first call or whatever. But listen, it's early. I ran out of coffee today, so I haven't even had my coffee yet. I haven't even had breakfast yet. But it was coming up on my time to make these calls, and it was time to get it in. And that's just what I'm doing. So today we have 8 new canceled listings. None were expired. They were actually canceled. Now, what's the difference between an expired and a canceled listing? In both situations, the contract with the other listing agent, with the other real estate agent, is broken, right? It's ended. The expired listing means that when you set your listing appointment, when you go to a listing appointment, you get a listing. That listing has to have a start and an end date. An expired listing came all the way up to that end date without it being canceled, extended, or anything like that, which means at that point in time, the contract with that agent is null and void. Voided. It's done. Cancel listing is a little bit different. Cancel listing is typically when a seller approaches the agent and says, hey, look, property's been on the market for quite some time, or I only wanted to try it for X amount of time. And right now, I no longer wish to sell my house, so let's sign a cancellation agreement. The other way that a listing can be canceled is if the listing agent approaches the seller and either for like a price reduction, maybe they just kind of had a bad argument, whatever it may be, just not seeing eye to eye. Listing agent says, hey, listen, I'm going to give you this listing back, and I'm going to cancel the listing. Both situations, fair game for you to approach that seller to see if they're open to interviewing another agent at that time. Very simple script. It should always be just that simple to see if they're open to interviewing another agent at this time. Um, when it comes to some people call on withdrawn listings, those are a little bit different because withdrawn listings aren't necessarily out of contract with the broker. It just means that it was withdrawn from the MLS, right? And there's a lot of different ways that listings can be withdrawn and still under contract with that listing agent. So I don't call on withdrawn listings because expired listings, canceled listings, those are the ones where it is ethical to call. Now, sometimes you will come across some listings where that same day, like for example, maybe they canceled the listing just to do a price adjustment so that it pops up as like a new listing again. It's kind of a hack, like a listing hack or whatever to get it back up in the search parameters. Um, Now, a lot of times you'll call and they'll just say right away, like, we canceled, but we signed with our agent that exact same day. That's different because you can easily say, okay, I didn't realize that. I'll remove you from my list. Don't call them again because you're not allowed to pursue the business when it's under contract. All right. That's my little 5 minute spiel on what's the difference between expired and canceled listings. Today happens to be all canceled listings, so I'd be interested to see what the interactions are um, as I'm calling these folks to see what happened, right? Because chances are, if they canceled the listing, it's been on for a while. Maybe they've just been beat up by the market and they're taking a break. So let's see. Call number one. Call number one is a property that is 5 minutes from my home office here. So Hi, this is Blake Wallace calling with Wallace Realty Group. Calling because I understand you've been trying to sell a property on Frisia Way here in Apple Valley. I wanted to know if you were open to interviewing another agent at this time. I've worked with several sellers like yourself, and I think it'll be beneficial if we spoke. So go ahead and give me a call back at 612-643-9379. That's 612-643-9379. Thank you. First voicemail of the day. Call the other number. Hi, David. This is Blake Wallace calling with Wallace Realty Group. Is now a bad time to talk? Okay. Well, yeah, no, I'll be super quick then. Really, what I was calling about was I understood you were trying to sell a property on Frisia Way. Is that correct? Okay. Okay. I got you. Well, let me update my records here. Thank you so much. Yep. Bye. Let me hit up that other number real quick on there. And it's a bad number. That's okay. Mark it off as such. All right. Moving on. Dial that wrong. There we go. Hey Lyle, this is Blake with Wallace Realty Group. Give you a call because I understand you've been trying to sell your property on 120th Circle. And I was wondering if you are open to interviewing another agent at this time. I've worked with several sellers like yourself, and I think you'd find it beneficial if we spoke. So go ahead and give me a call back at 612-643-9379. Again, that's 612-643-9379. Thank you. Voicemail. I do get the question sometime on whether or not people call me back on from voicemail, and it's hit or miss. Sometimes people do, most times people don't. The reason why is I'm very clear on my voicemail, so they know what I'm calling about. Um, this was on the market for 3 days. Wonder why. Still call them. But yeah, the point is that I always leave a voicemail because it's part of like your commercial. You know what I mean? When you call them. Now I no longer call these people every single day when they don't answer. So I don't leave a voicemail every single time that I call in that way. But if I haven't spoken to somebody, I'll call them one other additional time in the week, and uh, and then I'll just kind of go from there. So yeah, that's how that works. But um, typically, yeah. I mean, I've gotten maybe two or three return phone calls on my voicemails, and each time it was somebody. It was on a time that I left a voicemail that was vague, right? Like I would say something like, "I want to share some ideas with you that I think might help," and they'll call me back and they'll want to hear the ideas, but they've already listed with their other agent. So it's kind of like they want to hear your ideas and share them with the other agent, and won't do that. So moving on. Somebody gonna answer the phone today. Landline disconnected. This house was only on the market for 3 days, it says. So we'll see. See what the deal is. Definitely going to get some coffee after this. Hi, this is Blake Wallace calling with Wallace Realty Group. Wanted to give you a call because I understand you've been trying to sell your property on Lockmore Drive here in Edina. And I wanted to know if you were open to interviewing another agent at this time. I've worked with several sellers like yourself, and I think you'll find it beneficial if we spoke. If that's something that you want, give me a call back at 612-643-9379. Again, that's 612-643-9379. Thank you. See, it might have been them calling you back. No, it wasn't. Hmm. Just the thing is that my plus leads will pull up like people's LinkedIn profiles and stuff like that. It's interesting to see, especially if they have multiple like multiple owners listed, because you'll then be able to tell, like, yeah, that's not, I'm not gonna call that other number. It's like their daughter or whatever. Man, these properties coming off the market. It's a nice one too. Hey, this is Blake Wallace calling with Wallace Realty Group. Giving you a call because I understand that you've been trying to sell your property on Helen Lane. I wanted to know if you'd be open to interviewing another agent at this time. I've worked with several sellers like yourself, and I wanted to share some ideas with you that I think might help. That's something that you want, give me a call back at 612-643-9379. Again, that's 612-643-9379. Thank you. Now, I left that message. I said I want to share some ideas that I think might help. That's typically pretty vague, but after that, but that was after I said if you wanted to interview another agent, right? So still kind of working on what that voicemail message is going to be, but that's typically the kind of message that I end up getting a call back on. It just kind of depends on what they want, right? So maybe that's something that I'll use going forward, right? It's a combination of things that I've done, of voicemails that I've done. Usually I do one or the other. A lot of times it takes a little bit of creativity to just start to combine them. So move on to the next. This is call number 5. Trying to see if we can get somebody to answer the phone. Jeez. I think I went and knocked on this door one time. You see these ones that come up, you try reaching them one time and then they go back on the market, but then they expire again. So, I mean, that's another opportunity to reach out. And this was one that the address, I know I knocked on this door earlier this spring. Good morning. This is Blake calling with Wallace Realty Group. Did I catch you at a bad time? This is Blake calling with Wallace Realty. Okay, sounds good. What time should I give you a call back? Okay, sounds good. I'll give you a call this afternoon. Thank you. Just setting this call back to give him a call back this afternoon. See what's going on. That's why I like that opening because a lot of times, I mean, people could be blowing you off or whatever, but let's see here. Mark that as the best number. Save it. Calls like that I schedule, so that I mean that's a callback appointment this afternoon. I said I'd call her back, so I'm probably gonna call her back around 2 o'clock my time. But calls like that, what I will do is that gets scheduled directly. That gets scheduled directly on my Outlook calendar, so I'll get a reminder at 2 o'clock to call it back, and I can just pull it up directly here in My Plus Leads. I don't enter it into my CRM until I have qualified them, basically. But until I've spoken with them and they've expressed that they want to interview another agent, then I don't put them into my CRM. They can just stay right here in My Plus Leads, and I can create a list later on and call through all of them. So that's considered a lead. Call back this afternoon. Move on to the next. All right. Disconnected. Disconnected landline, which is most often the case. Good thing they get cell phone numbers. What's this call? 6? Yeah. Hi, Kelly. This is Blake calling with Wallace Realty Group. I was giving you a call because I understand you've been trying to sell your property on Asbury Street. I wanted to know if you were open to interviewing another agent at this time. I've worked with several sellers like yourself, and I have some ideas that I think might be able to help you out. So if that's something that you want, give me a call back at 612-643-9379. Again, that's 612-643-9379. Thank you. Right. What we gonna do next? Got 2 more calls to go. Let's see if I can get in contact with somebody that wants to talk. Another landline. See if this one is active. Hmm. That's the bad number. All right. So this one, they only have one number that was listed. It's not my plus lead's fault, obviously. Some people are just super private. And they don't know how to get all that out of the public knowledge. So looks like their mailing address is the house address. Let's send them a letter. But I know that this is a call that this is a um, this one is a listing. I mean, it's a contact that I won't be able to reach. So unless I go knock on the door today, which I just might do. You know what? I might take that ride today. Go knock on the door. There's nothing wrong with doing that every now and again, right? When you get a few, you got some good ones that you want to go get. Last call of the morning, and it was disconnected. Oh, struck out today. Hey, and then I gave myself an idea that there's a couple that I'll probably go knock on the door later on this afternoon. So, let me go disconnect. All right. Now, here's something if you don't know, you haven't followed me. I absolutely love door knocking, right? I like making these calls because the calls you can do every single day, right? Doesn't matter. You can make these calls every single day. However, there are times like now where if you're running into disconnected numbers, you can't reach the person, do things like that. Listen, we're in real estate. We're in a direct sale business. Go over to the go over to the go over to the house, knock on that door. You know what I mean? If they're home, they're more willing to have a conversation with you. Don't even let them know that you tried to call them. You know, you just hey, knock on the door, step back. How you doing? This is my name is Blake. I understand you've been trying to sell your house. Is that correct? Curious. Have you thought about, are you open to interviewing another agent at this time? And then set an appointment with them, right? But there's so many different ways that you can reach out to people. You can call them, mail them, you can go knock on the door. It's good to try to reach them by phone first because if you can reach them by phone first and have that conversation, you may be able to have a good conversation there. But if you're not able to reach some of these folks and you've called them, you should take a day and just go knock on the door, because what it's going to tell you a number of things, whether they've relisted, um, if they just don't answer the phone, or they don't do it, or they don't answer the door, then you're obviously not going to be able to reach them then. So once you've done that knock, send them a letter and say, hey, I've tried to reach you. I understand you've been trying to sell your house. Wondering if you're open to interviewing another agent at this time, right? All these things that you can do for little to no money and still get business and make yourself some good commissions, right? And that's the name of the game. The more people that you help, the more successful that you are, the better living that you make. So why not? You ain't doing anything else. You ain't doing anything else. What else are you gonna do? Post on social media? I mean, look, I just posted this on social media, obviously, but while I'm posting on social media, I'm actually working to build those leads and generate those leads. So listen, take that time, take a day, maybe one day a week, and say all the ones that I haven't contacted this week, I'm gonna go knock on the door. Never know what you can get out of that. Anyway, appreciate y'all for watching. You know what I'm saying? Let me know if you got any questions down in the comments. I'll always answer those questions down in the comments. And like, subscribe, anything that you would do when you find some content that you like, please do it for me. I definitely appreciate it. See y'all tomorrow.